Hi everyone, my name is Julie and this is my guest room. We're going to be talking about my art today that I have. I decided to focus just on this room because there's a lot in here as you can see, but we will go through most of the items one by one in here so you can really see. But I wanted to give you like a little overview on what the room looks like. We call it our trophy room because it has all the art that I've collected over the years. And I'm going to mainly focus on the 2D objects, but I do have a couple 3D objects in here, so I'll throw those in as well, just for fun. The first one is this piece here. This is a weapon of sorts. It's a club. It is not authentic. It is something that was replicated, but my husband liked it, so we purchased it. This one is a 25-year anniversary cowbell. Again, it's just a decorative piece. This was not worn by a cow in Bavaria, or in this case, we picked it up in Liechtenstein, but I thought it was kind of cool. So I bought it, and I like the fringe on it. This is a really cool piece that I found. This is one that I found actually at a flow market. A flow market is like a German yard sale type of thing. We call it Flowmark, and I just really like the colors of this one. It is a print, it's actually cut out. That blue is underneath the yellow, and I thought that that was just so striking. This, I actually do not really know what it is. I found it at another flow market. Favant is not a Bavarian word that I am familiar with. And I actually asked one of my Bavarian friends what it means, and they didn't really recognize it either. It could be a regional word, like a Franconian word, but I don't know what it is, but it's a wooden panel paint on it. This is a beautiful oil painting I picked up in Belgium. I absolutely love it. It's a miniature. It shows these great waves on it. The colors are much more vibrant than it's showing in this picture, but I just absolutely loved it. And there's no artist signature on it, so I don't know very much about it, but it looks pretty modern. This is a sand art painting. This is from the southwest of the United States. So it is sand on board, and I just really liked it. It came from my grandparents, and when they passed away, I asked for it, and I was lucky enough to receive it. I just think it's really interesting. This is another oil. I actually picked up two of these by the same artist. This is by the artist Weber. So it's W-E-B-E-R. You can see this one has a lot of smoke damage on it, but I just really like the landscape, and it is kind of a Bavarian landscape. This one here, this is the New Zealand shoveler. It is a print. I just like ducks. I don't know, there's no reason behind it. I just like ducks, and I bought it for €2. I thought it was a great price. It's a pretty large print, so. This is so cool. This is actually seaweed on paper, which is beautiful. It does have a name on it, G.L.Y. Sullivan. I don't know where it came from. I bought it from a thrift shop, and it's just a little guy, but I just thought the seaweed was really unique. This is a beautiful piece. This is one that is another print. I picked this up when I lived on the eastern shore of Maryland. I was an intern there at the St. Michael's Museum, and they have these really cool lighthouses there that kind of screw into the ground, and so I saw this print. I really liked it. It reminded me of my summer there, and I actually bought it while I was an intern, so it wasn't a whole lot of money. This is a lithograph. This is of Bruges. It is one of those limited edition ones that an artist did, and that's their famous tower. I picked it up, actually not in Bruges, but right after I visited, I saw it in an antique shop, and I just picked it up. This is kind of like the next wall we're gonna go over here. So we're kind of moving our way around the room. This is like my main focus wall. There are a lot of pieces that really mean a lot to me on it. This one my grandmother did. This, you can see her initials there, BHL, Bunny Lothrop. She was a needlepoint artist, and she had this designed and did it herself and then had it framed. And again, just really lucky that I was able to receive it when she passed away. This I got when I went to Egypt. It is papyrus. You can see it's the two kingdoms coming together because of the double crown. I just really like the colors of it, and I thought it was a fun thing to pick up from Egypt, and I'm glad to have it in my collection. It can also stand on a table. This is one that my husband and I picked up on our way out to Mount Rainier in Tacoma, Washington. They were having this little range, LaRange, something like that, sale, and we went in. It was like all the local artists were selling stuff, and I saw this gentleman selling his art pieces. I've got this one, another one in my living room, and I don't know, there's something about the colors that I think he does a really good job with. So it's a no-name artist, but I think he's really cool. This is something I picked up. You can see it's all the different barbed wires. Keith and I picked that up on our honeymoon. We were driving across Route 20 from Cleveland to Tacoma, and it just has a special meaning in my heart. I usually keep it on display somewhere pretty like where people can see it, also where no one can get injured, because it is straight up barbed wire. You can see all the different barbed wires throughout the years, like a little history of it, which I think is really unique and different. This is an artist piece that we picked up in Nuremberg. This is street art, so it's spray paint on paper, and I don't know, it's supposed to be a phoenix rising. You can't really see it, so I'm gonna give you another angle of it. I don't know if that's any better, but the artist called it Phoenix Rising, and it's just a spray paint artist. It was like 10 euros, so we were like, yep, that's cool. This is another one that I picked up in Bruges. It's a sister to that last one I showed you of the tower. This is like the most famous view of Bruges, so it is what it is. There's like numbers and a signature on it, but I don't know if you all care about that, so that's what it fully looked like. I don't know if you wanted to see how I frame things too. Sometimes I change frames, sometimes I don't. It's kind of a personal preference on if I think the frame looks good with that art, and this one I thought looked really nice with it, so I didn't change it at all. This mirror I picked up in Morocco. While not technically art, I'm sure you can see that there's hammered brass around the sides, which is absolutely stunning. I've never seen this style anywhere else in the Arab world, so I was really excited to pick it up when I was in Marrakesh. This reminds me of one of my favorite trips to Prague. This was the first trip my husband and I took. He loves pocket watches, so when I saw this, I had to give it to him. And it's got a little stamp on it too, which is kind of cute. I don't know. It's something that's sold on the bridge, so it's overpriced and touristy, but I liked it. This is a map of the world. I picked this up in another antique shop. They were like wild about these. I feel like in the 50s and 60s, people made all sorts of prints about this. It's not old. Well, I guess it's like 50 years old, but it's not super, super old. This is the Brandenburg Gate in Germany. This one was made in 1989, so right after the gate fell. And it's by an artist, David Brayu-Crew. I do not know anything about him. And this is a print again, but it's a sign print, and I really like the matting of it, actually. I thought that blue pulled it out, and just knowing the history of Germany was really special when I went to Berlin, so I picked this one up. This is a huge piece. My husband saw this in Croatia and was just like, I have to have it. So he bought it. It's a modern piece, and I framed it in this green like velvet, which I thought makes it kind of pop, but it's a little dark in this space, so I'll have to see if I move it. You can see it's of these really cool like sea urchins. It's based on some old drawings. I don't know. He bought it, he brought it home and was like, can I have it? And I was like, of course you can have it, you've already bought it. And it goes like with our random art, so it works. This is a tile, this is a painted tile of the Virgin Mary and the Child, aka Jesus. It's a religious piece. I don't normally collect religious pieces, but I was gifted this by a friend. I thought, you know, add tile to the whole art collection, if that seems cool enough. This is of Greece, as you can probably tell, the colors. This is another watercolor print sort of thing. They printed it and then painted over it. I think it's pretty. I got these for a steal, like $1 each. I don't know. Someone was just trying to get rid of them. This is reverse glass painting. It is a miniature, so it's super, super tiny. It's like the size of a postage stamp. There are 3 layers of glass in that. Each one has a different scene painted on the back of it. And it's a little fisher guy. We picked this up at a monastery in the Chiemsee. I actually don't know if it was a monastery or the one where nuns are, but we went to their shop when we went there in Bavaria, and it was just absolutely beautiful. And I saw this and I was just like, Keith, I have to have it. And he was lucky enough to say like, yes. And I was like, cool, taking it home. All right, so this is the door you enter, and then that's a closet, so you can kind of see like the other side. There's a lot less art on this side. This is where like I view that I've got space to grow in. This is a great Native American piece here. This is ink on paper. It's absolutely beautiful. You can really see how that figure is dancing, and I just think it's fantastic. I got this actually in Clayton, New York when I lived there. This is a key box. My husband fell in love with this in the Czech Republic. No, excuse me, we got this in Poland, and it just has that dual view to it. It's like a metallic shift, so I'm not sure what this is made out of, but it's a cool key box, even though we just stick it on our wall above our door. This is a pheasant hunting scene. I saw this and I was just like, that's interesting. There's a little damage on it. It's missing a little of the oil paint on it, but I won't restore it, and I thought the frame looked really nice with it, so I picked it up for I think 15 euros. This is another papyrus piece. This is from Sardinia. So I don't even know, is Sardinia its own separate country? I'm so sorry. But it has a little Roman guy on it, and I was like, oh, go with my Egyptian papyrus. It works out perfectly. This is another image of Greece. This is another artist, though. I do like like just the idea of Greece. When I went, it wasn't like my favorite place in the world, but I just love the artist renditions of the area. So I kept it. All right, this one is really cool. This one was painted in 1962. It is labeled the Schwarzhaus or the Black House. I just really like how it's almost like Dutch figures to me in this dark painting. I believe it's German. I don't believe it's Dutch artist just because of the name of the piece. But I do like how dark and kind of like mysterious it is. And I think it's kind of cool. I also think it's made in 1962, which is kind of nice because it's such an old style. This one is hilarious. Okay, this is by artist R. Kate. We picked this up on Route 66, Keith and I. I just love the little volcano. And he does a bunch of Native American First People humor. He himself is first person, and so he just does this really good job of mixing modern humor with some characters, and it's just great art. I love it. It's so funny. This is the other one of the Weber pieces, so it kind of matches the other one with the tobacco problems and stainings. I'll get that fixed. I'm just not there yet. They're a repair, so I picked up both of them. I don't like one more than the other. I just think they're both framed really nicely. This is so fun. Okay, I got this in Germany, even though it's of Prague, and I'm going to show you a close-up here in a little bit, but this is a lithograph of the old town. It is not that old, again, probably from the 70s, but it's just so pretty, and you get this great detail in it. You can see Charles Bridge there on the left-hand side going into Old Town and the Tyne Church, and everything's labeled. You probably see these in history classes. I've seen them all the time when I teach history, and I use them to kind of like do locations, and I think that's fun, so I picked it up. Prague is one of my favorite places in all of Europe, so it was a good memory there. This is another tile. This is called a Blue Reflection. I picked it up at the Cherokee Trading Post in Oklahoma, but the copyright is by artist Jeanne Rourke Bridges, who's an Oklahoma artist, member of the Lakota Cherokee tribe of Alabama. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. I don't know, there's just something striking about the colors and the way that she used it, so I picked this one up. I actually got this at a thrift store, so I did not buy it in Oklahoma, but I just thought it was pretty, so I couldn't leave it there. This is a scarab. This is something else they picked up on my trip to Egypt. It's really 3D, so I wanted to show you like the top and the bottom. This is made for a tourist. A lot of my pieces are made for tourists, so they're not like what we would call, you know, like high art, fine art, but it's art that I really, really like, and so it reminds me of special things. This is one of my husband's favorite pieces. He got a mask. The plague mask. He did not buy this when we went to Venice because he's never been there, even though I have. We bought this online, but it's in our trophy room. So there we go. Here is another overview just to give you an idea of where everything kind of is located. I didn't show you everything because some of it just isn't really appropriate to show. And that, my friends, is my guest room and what we call the trophy room. It's where, you know, 90% of our art is. Of course, some of our bigger pieces are out here, but like in our living room, I film in the living room now. But that's just, it's like when you go into that room, I just look around and I see such pieces with such meaning to me from places that I've lived and places that I love and places that I've visited. And I just like the mixed media that I've got going on there. Like, it's just, I feel like there's a little bit of everything in that room. And I just like it. It just makes me happy. I know it's not everyone's aesthetic, and that's totally cool. Feel free to let me know down below which one your favorite was and why it's your favorite. Like, does something that I have create a special memory for you, or some story that I told create a special memory for you? You clearly see that I have some favorites. I do like Native American art from the United States and Canada. I also really liked taking landscapes. You can see I've got a lot of landscapes. That might be the number one thing that I have. But yeah, that's kind of like the start. I'm gonna hold off on doing my second video of art until I see how this one goes. I do realize it's like a lot of photos, and I had to do a voiceover because when I tried to film while holding my camera, there was a lot of shaking and laughing. So, and I couldn't put my computer in there to film because I couldn't quite get close enough to the image. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. I hope it was good. Please leave any feedback because it's my first time trying something like this. And then I will do some of my bigger pieces, which are out in this room. Like I mentioned the horse before, I also have over here. Like I've got these great wooden pieces here too But right there, they're very, look at that. Isn't that cool? You would think that these were European, right? Made in America. Who knew? But I bought them in Germany. No, I bought them in Belgium. But if you want more information about stuff like that, please let me know. I can definitely do a tour of like my bedroom, or I guess our bedroom, my husband and I's bedroom. I can do pieces of furniture if you want to do that, because I do believe furniture is like art, which is kind of fun. I don't know, I've got like some really cool planters and things like that. If you guys want to know more, let me know. But if you're like, Julie, I feel like you have a lot of art and I feel like I got enough in this 20 minutes, that's cool too. Like, I can talk about this all day long. Like, my goal one day is like basically have a house museum, and I feel like I'm working my way there. Don't you think? I definitely think the trophy room is almost done. I definitely have some spots where I can put some more art on the walls, but we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. Maybe this will become my forever home. Maybe I'll live here forever. We're just renting right now, so probably not. But maybe I start playing around and like figuring out where different things go. It's gonna be good. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.